Hello there everybody, Sam Strings here and welcome back to Great Engineers. I can't believe it, but we're on to episode 4 already, which is pretty crazy because I feel like I've only been doing this a couple of days. But yeah, I'm all set up on the layout for Richard Maunsell and the locomotives that he influenced or designed during his life. And I'll get on with that in just a second, but first here's a little bit of info about the man himself. He was born on the 26th of May 1868 in Ireland. And he was actually the chief mechanical engineer on the Southern Railway and previously the SECR. He was effectively trained by Henry Ivat, with whom he did his apprenticeship, before of course he eventually became the chief mechanical engineer. As well as designing several new classes of steam locomotive, he also modified and sometimes even rebuilt entirely existing classes. And some of those we're looking at today, and in fact we're going to start with the modifications or the rebuilds, and then on the second half we're going to move on to his own designs, which should hopefully be quite good. Sadly he died in March 1944 at the age of 76, and then I suppose the likes of Bullied will have followed. But yeah, let's get started then. I've got 6 locomotives to show you today, so I really hope you're going to enjoy it. So without further ado, here we go with the first one. So the first one I'm going to show you today is one that I've already shown in the series before, as you might remember. It's the Southern Class T9, or the LSWR Class T9 I should say. This one is in beautiful Southern Black, number 708. And this is one that Richard Maunsell modified slightly, modified the design that is. He didn't actually design it, but I thought it would be still quite a nice loco to show you today, and it is one of my favourite little Southern engines. So I'm going to get her out of the siding. Oh, before I do, she's got some coaches, not many because she's not capable of pulling all that many. But she's got 3 Southern coaches, as you can see, hooked up to her. So I'll just grab those points. There's a couple there, and I need to get that one as well. And I'll hop over to the controller, and I'll get her running for you. Well, she did that very well. I'm quite proud of her actually, because she's normally terrible across points. But it's not over yet because I want her onto the very inner line. So she has to cross a few more points, so I'll go and do that now. So I need to alter these 2 then, and that will get her onto the middle line, so wish me luck, well wish her luck. There she goes. Very well done there. And of course there's one more set of points she has to cross, and they are here, so if she does this properly, she's gotten where we want her to go. Oh, she slowed down a little bit there. Again, she's getting quite a long way from the transformer here, or the controller. But yeah, she's done it. Let's bring her around to the front then. They're beautiful engines, aren't they? Well, I think so anyway. There we go. Right, I'll stop her around at the front for you then, just so that you can get a nice close-up of her. But that's the Southern T9. If I stop her about there, not the most gracious of stops, but yep, there you go. Hopefully you can see her up close there. Very elegant locomotive, this time in the black of course, which I think does look very smart indeed. So yeah, I'm not going to leave her here for long because I know you want to see her run a bit more, and I'll tell you about her too. So here she goes again. I'll try my best to do this a bit more smoothly. Can I do it? Yeah. Very nice. It's a good performance that. Okay, so here's a little bit about the T9 and what Maunsell had to do with them. So the T9s were actually designed by Dougal Drummond, as you may remember, and they were introduced in 1899, and Maunsell was only about 30 then. But during the Maunsell era he actually modified them to include superheating, and he also had them painted into a dark green livery with yellow lettering, which is quite interesting. The class originated from the LSWR, as I already mentioned, and they were intended for express passenger work, so of course I've got them pulling coaches. Sadly only one of the class remain, of a total of 66 produced, and I believe that one is owned by the NRM. Right, I'm going to pop her just there then, and I know I gave her a bit of a grilling when I reviewed her, didn't I, the T9, but I must admit I love to see her run. So yeah, let me know if you like the T9 as well. I've put a little poll up so you can let me know if you enjoy seeing her from time to time. But for now then, let's move on to the second loco of the day, which is also one that was modified by Mr. Maunsell. So this is a loco from 20 years later, introduced in 1919, and again this one wasn't designed by Maunsell, but it was completely rebuilt by him, I believe, and redesigned. And it's of course the gorgeous M15 locomotive. This is a gorgeous 460 number 773 Sir Levine from my White Pullman train pack, which is a fantastic train pack, and do check that out if you want to. You should be able to click on that. And she's got a couple of, well, 3 Pullman coaches from the Queen of Scots, I believe it is. It's not the Pullman coaches that she came with in the train pack, but I've not run these Queen of Scots ones before, so I thought it would be nice. But enough chit chat, let's get her out of those points. So let me just change those, just the 2 there, and I'll go over and get her started and bring her around to the front for you. Well, she seemed to do that very nicely, and for a long time this loco was my absolute favourite, and I'll stop her in a moment so you can see her, but first I want to get her onto the middle line where she's going to be running round. So I've changed the points already, so now we just have to wait and see what happens. Oh dear. Right, let me just fix that and I'll be right back. Okay, slightly embarrassing, she's back on the tracks. I think we'll just have to give her the benefit of the doubt there, but here we go. A bit more slowly this time, see if she won't do it. I'm wondering if the front bogie needs gauging on this, because it does this occasionally on certain points. But yeah, much better. She seems to have done that now. But I'm still going to keep it slow just because I don't trust these coaches an awful lot yet. I don't know them all that well. But there we go, yep, she's done it. I'm just going to shut the points and then I'll reverse her back and then let you see her up close. So that should be far enough. I'm controlling her on the Select, by the way, which is the DCC controller, because a long time ago I did put a DCC chip into her, but yeah, here she comes. She can come a bit faster now. Now I've shut the points. There we are. And if I flip round to the other side, you can get a bit of a better look at this marvellous machine. So there she is, the 460 Sir Levine M15 / King Arthur class, number 773. What a fantastic little model. And I'm going to do my best on the Select to start her off nice and gently for you. And it shouldn't be too difficult. But yeah, here we are then, let's give it a try. Wow. What a performer that is. Okay, well, here's a little bit of info then about the M15. So as I did mention then, the M15s first appeared in 1919, and this time to the design of Robert Urey. Richard Maunsell, though, was responsible for completely redesigning the class, as well as producing several more of the class during his time as Chief Mechanical Engineer, giving it a total of 74 units. The class were used to haul heavy express trains and proved themselves to be really excellent performers, even more so after Maunsell's improvements. All but one of the class were scrapped, but that one that remains is still in running order as far as I know. Okay, I'll let her have a little rest then, just there. And we'll return to her, of course, in just a second. But yeah, let's go and check out the third loco of the day then, that had Maunsell's stamp on it. And here it is. And this is an N-class, and I've just got to apologise for the wind turbine, because we're right next to it just here. And it is making a lot of noise of late, so please excuse that. But yeah, the N-class, this is the first one we're looking at that actually was Maunsell's design, well, original design. And a lovely thing it is too. It's a gorgeous 260 and it's very business-like. And really it's got quite a heavy rake on it. There's not many there, but they are stone wagons with real stones in them, so of course they are going to be really heavy. So I'll bring her around to the front for you so that you can see her properly, and let me just grab that point and I'll go to the controls and get her started. So yep, here we go then, the N-Class. Brilliant looking model this, and yeah, it's not all that well known really because it was from a few years ago, but yeah, I really like it. Alright, I hope that's in shot there, but either way, there's a close-up. There she is, number 1824, the gorgeous Bachmann N-Class. Yeah, really lovely little loco there, and yeah, completely designed by Richard Maunsell. So hopefully that's enough of a close look then. Let me get her up and running, and I'll tell you all about the class as always. There she goes. So we're going back to 1917 for the N-Class, and it's the first one we're looking at today, which was actually Maunsell's original design. He intended it for mixed traffic, and a total of 80 of them were built, the first of which were for the SECR, and production ended during the SR period. In design, the class were actually quite similar to the locomotives of Churchward, of the Great Western Railway of course, and they included bell-pair fireboxes and several similar features. And similar to the N15, only one example remains in preservation, and that's running number 1874, and it's currently being overhauled apparently, so maybe we'll see it running again before all that long. Okay, let's get the rest of these engines running then for a running session. Here goes the N15. Nice and steadily does it. And of course the T9 needs to get up and running as well. Here she goes then. Oh god. Wheel slip with 3 coaches and a traction tyre. Typical. But there we go. She seems to have gotten those now. And the N-Class and the N15 are going at very similar speeds. Hang on, you'll see it in a sec. There we go. Just following it round. Okay, let's have a running session then. Hope you enjoy it. It's marvellous that these two N15 and N-Class have managed to stay perfectly synchronised. Oh well, not to worry. Makes for a bit of interesting filming though, that's for sure. And here's the T9 again. Right, I've sped that N15 up now, so she's taken the lead quite nicely, but the N-Class isn't all that far behind, I'm hoping. Hoping she's about to come. Yeah, here she comes. There we go. Anyway, let's have a little train ride then, shall we? Because I've not done that for a little while, and we can do a bit of chasing, because these two are basically the same speed. Oh. think we might have a slight derailment problem, but I'm not going to say anything just yet. Yeah, cool. Very enjoyable running session anyway. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to stick all of these guys back into their sidings now, well, girls I should say, and then I'll join you again. Well, you can join me again if you like, as soon as I've done that, and I'll get the rest of the locos out for you. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, next up then I've got a beautiful 440 locomotive from 1926. It's a class L1 and this one's running number 1757. And she's got 3 Southern Green coaches coupled up to her, and as you can see in the other siding just in front of her there's a little Southern 040 number 7 who's got the brake coach, which is going to have to go and couple it to her. So what I'm going to do first is just grab those points so that that green 040 is active, and I'm going to get her to pull that coach out of the siding, ready for the L1 to couple up to it. So eventually she'll have a rake of 4. So here we go then, number 7, the little 040. I thought it'd be quite nice to show her. There we go. Rightio, and I'll just grab that little 040 if I can. There we go. And let me go and change those points again. And I'll back that L1, hopefully, right out of the siding. If the coaches stay on the tracks, which hopefully they will. There we go, nicely coupled. Yep, very nicely coupled. And there's a close-up of her then, Maunsell's L1. And I'm going to get her running now without any further ado, so that I can tell you all about them. So yeah, 1926, the L1 was another of Maunsell's original designs, though apparently they were influenced by the L-Class, which came several years before, designed by Harry Wainwright. The locomotives pulled heavy express trains and remained doing so for about 10 years after they were produced, and after that they were eventually replaced with more modern locomotives, but they did continue to be used for sort of smaller duties. A total of 15 examples were produced in only one batch, and all of them sadly were scrapped around the early 60s. Alright then, I'm just going to stop her there, and we'll get her running again as always in just a second, but now I'm going to show you the final class of locomotive of the day, but it isn't the final loco of the day, so yeah, work that one out. Here we go though, here it is. And there it is, Maunsell's finest. Of course it's the Schools class from 1930, a really gorgeous locomotive, especially this one. This one's the modern Hornby one with the white roof, which I believe signifies that it pulled the Royal train at some point, or a Royal train. And she's got a rake of 3 of the 40th ambulance train coaches. Now technically they're not really Southern coaches, I think they're more sort of Great Western, but I did think the colour does suit Southern locomotives very nicely, so although that isn't strictly correct, I think it is quite nice to get those running once in a while. So here we go then, let me get the loco and the coaches out of the siding and onto the middle line. I think we want this one. So here she goes, the beautiful Schools class. Okay, nice and steady then. If I just open these points and I'll just get her to go nice and slow over them. Hopefully she'll do that. Yeah, just about. Very nice. Let me speed that up somewhat. And I'll swap that point back. And other way. And here she comes back into shot. And I will just give you a quick close-up of her as always. Let me just stop her first. There we go. Alright, so there's a close-up then, the gorgeous Schools class, and I suppose I'll just get her started as always, and I'll tell you a little bit about their history. So quite similar to the Lord Nelson class, the Schools class was one of Maunsell's most successful designs. They actually helped to replace the L1 locomotives, which we've just looked at, and they're actually the most powerful class of 440 locomotives ever produced in Europe, and that later earned them the power classification of 5P on the BR, and of course most 440s are classified as 2P, so that's super impressive. The class was quite unusual in that most 440s were actually disappearing by this time in favour of the more effective 460 configuration, but the Schools class actually exceeded many 460s in its performance, even though it was only a 440. In total, 40 were produced within about 5 years, and a healthy 3 still remain in preservation. And yep, the last loco of the day is also a Schools class, so I'll show you her and get her running as well. So I'm going to leave the black Schools class running while I just do this. You can see her at the bottom there. But yeah, this is the second school class of the day then. It's my railroad version, which has a little less detail, but it actually runs much better. It's a really good puller, so she's got some brown, well, what is it, chocolate and cream coaches, something like that. And there's 1, 2, 3, there's 6 of those I believe. So that should make quite a nice rake. And I'm not going to waste any time in getting her out really, so let me just grab those points. There we go. And I'll go and give her some juice, shall I? Yeah, gorgeous, isn't it, the Schools class? It's probably one of my favourite 440s actually, because it's just such a mighty machine, isn't it? I must admit I do prefer the railroad one because it's just a lot more durable, and that's what counts for me really. I mean, it's not terribly detailed, so yeah, it's the best of both worlds. Okay, I'll restart the L1 then, and then we'll have one last running session with these 3 Maunsell locomotives. Alright, here she goes. It does fly along that L1, but it's triang of course, so they do tend to. But yeah, a little bit of everything today. Triang, Bachmann, Hornby. Yeah, just what I like. And as always, you've seen all of them now, so you can let me know if you'd like to, which one was your favourite of them all. Mine's the Schools class, I'll kick things off. But yeah, do let me know in the poll which is yours. And there goes the Railroad Schools class, following behind the L1. Gorgeous thing, from a distance especially. I love that livery. A lot more than the BR Black. There she goes again. Looks nice with the white roof. It's very unusual, isn't it? Very unusual. Well everybody, that should just about do it. I do hope you enjoyed seeing today's Maunsell locomotives. I'll be back here next week with some Fowler locomotives, so hopefully you'll join me again for that. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to leave a like or even a comment on the video, because I love it when you get in touch. And also, if you'd like to, you can check out the Facebook and Twitter pages, and they're at facebook.com/samstrains or twitter.com/samstrains. It would be lovely to see you there, but for now, thank you very much for watching once again, and I'll see you back here next week for some more great engineers.